Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Coffee Break Book Club live show for book lovers. We're going to be talking about this, which was our primary book club pick for May. And we have our first guest ever this month, Miss Lucy.
Hello.
She is tagged in the description too, so you can go check out her channel and subscribe. But if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, you can do that now.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Lucy. I'm from the UK, and I just started BookTube. I'm actually coming up on my 1 year anniversary, which is crazy already. And yeah, I do mostly vlogs, and some TBRs and wrap ups, all the usual stuff. But yeah, I'm happy to be here talking about book lovers.
Yes. And then, of course, we have Janelle down there. Hi, Janelle. All right. So we'll start, as always, with everyone's ratings. So if you want to drop what you rated book lovers in the chat, you can let us know. And then we'll go around in a circle here and we'll talk about for ourselves. But yes, I'm excited to talk about it. I feel like everyone in the Discord, well, it was a little mixed, but the majority seemed to really, really love it. But there were some people that couldn't get into it as much. So it'll be hopefully an interesting discussion and talk about all that. So, Lucy, you want to tell me what you rated it?
Yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I was not the person who found it hard to get into.
Yeah. Okay. Janelle?
I haven't decided on a rating only because I technically haven't even finished it, but I'm planning on like restarting it.
Okay.
I got to like page 100. Like I read a lot of it on vacation and I was feeling really good. And then when I got back, I felt like everything that I was reading was going over my head. Like I wasn't actually, like I didn't actually know what I was reading. And so then I got to a point where I like was like, I don't, like I was going to just DNF it. Like I was like, I'm not even going to worry about it. And then I was like, no, it's freaking Emily Henry. I'm going to reread this book. And I was like, I'm going to go and read it again. So it's on my June TBR. I actually plan to pick it up as soon as I finish this manga, to get to actually like know what I read, but I'm sure I'm going to love it. From what I did read and did understand, I loved it. So I expect to.
Okay. So you'll start completely over from page 1?
Yeah, like I got literally to like page 200 and I just was like, I can't. I was like, I don't know what I'm reading. This is so unfair. If I rate this book and didn't even know half the stuff that I read, and I was like, just restart so I can have a fair rating.
Okay. That's interesting that you say that because I actually officially DNF'd it.
Oh my gosh.
So I wasn't even like, I was reading it and I was not not understanding, but just not like grasping or connecting. But it wasn't like, I wasn't like thinking like, oh, I should restart it or anything. I was just like, I don't think I care. So it feels really sad to do that. But like I made it up to chapter 12, page 130 something. And I was just like, I don't think this one is for me. So I am DNFing it.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe I will like retry like later, like not anytime soon. But as of right now, I don't care to finish it.
I think it's funny that, okay, you said you got to page like 130 something.
Yeah.
Okay. After the 100 page mark is where I felt like I was disconnected. And I don't know if it was because I didn't understand. Like, I didn't know if it was because I was reading and wasn't actually like reading. Like, I was just like almost like scanning when like you read and then you don't actually know what you just read. I couldn't tell if it was because of that or if because I just didn't, like, I wasn't connecting. I got to chapter like 14, so not far after that, which is when I started to lose it. And I was like, no. And I think it's just me. But now that you say that, I'm like, maybe it wasn't just me. Like maybe it is the book. But I think I'm still gonna try and read it it again. And then if I feel the same way at the same point, then I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, well, I definitely think it is like real slow paced in the beginning. Like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like she needed to take out a lot of the beginning. And that was my problem with it. I was like, if it's not immediately grasping me and I'm not like enjoying it at this point, that's not a good Emily Henry book to me.
Yeah, I feel with Emily Henry, it's definitely like if you're not clicking with the main character,
Yeah.
you're not going to pick it up halfway through. Like it's then or you don't read it.
Right.
It's very much like that.
That was a problem I had too with the main character.
Yeah.
We'll get into all that stuff too, but let's see. Victoria gave it 5 stars. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Yes, it is a little disappointing, I know. But like I said, maybe like in a few months, like later on down the line, I'll try it again. But let's talk about the main characters and stuff. Nora. I was not connecting, just like what Lucy was saying, that I felt disconnected from her, or I wasn't really liking her. I don't really know what it was, but it just and like the dynamic between her and her sister too, like I wasn't really feeling that. And then the romance too, like I don't even know when that comes really into play because I didn't feel tension, I didn't feel anything like that. But I want to keep this more on like a positive note, so let's let Lucy like take the reins for this because I don't want to put this book down because it is Emily Henry and I do love her, but something about this book was just not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though like within like the first chapter, I enjoyed Nora's point of view because it was almost refreshing to me that she was sort of this kind of like the other woman sort of stereotype of like she's the one that the men are with before they find their true love. Like I appreciated that aspect because I hadn't read from that before. So that's kind of how I got hooked to begin with, and then it sort of just like carried on. I will admit I did not like her relationship with her sister. I thought her sister was acted like a 12-year-old for most of it, and I didn't like the fact that there was the sort of miscommunication trope with her a little bit. I won't get into like spoilers of that, but yeah, and then with the romance, it was very slow burn, very slow. But I did like it. Like it paid off at the end for me.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, because this was also for my family book club, so they all finished and read it. Obviously, I was the bad book clubber for both. I feel bad, but no one really like loved it. I was like obsessed with it or anything, but they like enjoyed the story, but it was a little different. I don't know, and I feel like at least from what I read, it was very heavy on the sister relationship rather than anything else. So that's what I didn't like or connect with because I don't even have a sister. So I was like, I'm not enjoying this. So
yeah, no, I see that. I just like the fact that she was like a workaholic. I was like, oh, I could get on board with this.
Mackenzie gave it 4 stars, not really for the plot, but loved the banter. Yeah, everyone was talking about the banter, and I was getting really excited for the banter.
Yeah, I will say, like, the banter probably didn't kick into about 150 page. Like, I don't even think you got quite up to it.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit, but I think I was already to the point where I was more annoyed. Like, I just didn't like these characters, so that's why I was like, I think I'm better off not finishing this because then I'm gonna end up just making fun of the rest of it.
Yeah, sometimes it like turns into like hate reading. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I want to hate read an Emily Henry book. Like that's just so. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know what it was actually. But do you have any other things that you didn't like, Lucy, about it, or was it just like all around?
The main point that I didn't like was the way the sister handled her situation, and also the way that Nora's relationship with her sister was very almost motherly, where she has to be waking up at 2 a.m. to worry about what her sister's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that did great on me, because I was like, do you really have to be doing this? But you did then get a backstory of why she was like that, and it explained it. Didn't really justify it though, so there was still that discrepancy.
Yeah.
But like I sort of binge read this in like 2 days, so I was just there like speeding through it, and by the time we were getting to like her sister's like point of view and stuff, I sort of almost glossed over it, because I was like, oh, I don't really care, I'm going in for the romance.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, even though I had an issue with it, I sort of just like went, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna be fazed by you.
Yeah. Do you usually like slow burn romance?
Yeah, like I very much hate insta love, and I prefer for them to have like a conflict. Like, so I either do like enemies to lovers, where that normally is a slow burn, or friends to lovers, where obviously that is a slow burn as well. So I do kind of like slow burn.
Okay. I don't know if I really love it or hate it. I'm not really sure. But I think I would. I'm more looking to love the characters myself right away.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes for a lot of people. But like, if I love the characters, I don't really care how the story pans out. But if I don't love them, then usually whichever way the story is panning out, I'm not going to enjoy it. So that's like first thing I need, is to connect with the main character, or to even just love like the love interest. Something, I need to get something from one of them.
Yeah, I will say that everyone's sort of like raging about Charlie and how he's like the new book boyfriend. I didn't get that sort of connection from him. He was fine, but he wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't that obsessed with him. So I definitely agree with like his sort of character.
Mm-hmm.
I could take him or leave him.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts, Jenna?
I also thought that her relationship with her sister was a little bit strange. And not in like how close they were, but really how much it was like highlighted, like how many moments we got of them two, rather than like we're supposed to be talking about like book lovers. So we're supposed to be like, this is supposed to be a romance. And I felt like it was this weird like focus on her and her sister's dynamic, which being someone who has a sister, like part of me understands like the care that she has for her sister. But I think Lucy brought up a good point that it was definitely motherly, which I thought was strange. Like it was, I don't know. And I didn't get into much of like why that was, but I do remember in the very beginning of the book being like really questioning, like, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter where she is or what she's doing? Like, I don't know. It felt a little bit like obsessive, to the point where like it wasn't like a cute, loving obsessive. It was like, okay, like this dynamic is really weird. Like you should be this obsessed. I don't know, but that also could have been just me. And then I typically don't love, well, I want to say that I don't typically love slow burns, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think it just depends on the trope. So like there are specific slow burns that I don't love. Typically tell if I'm going to like the book if I know how many pages it is. Like if it's like over 400 pages and it's a romance, there's no way I'm reading it, because I feel like I can't do that. Like I cannot sit in that for long enough. But I don't know. This one I couldn't really tell. I definitely wasn't super like interested in Nora as a character. Only because I didn't care for the perspective of the other woman. So like I'm like the typical like, let's get the cheesy like Hallmark. I want that girl. Like I don't necessarily care about like that end of it, but that's also a personal preference. So it could have just been a bad book. Like it could have just been like not a great book for me,
Mm-hmm.
but not like it's a bad book in general.
No, yeah, it's all of this is so subjective. So of course, it's how you feel.
Yeah.
Connecting to the book.
The title, Book Lovers, like, did they really explain what that's supposed to be about?
They do, but it's easy for it to get glossed over. It's once they're in the town, it gets explored more. Once they're yeah, it's cute, but it's also like it harks back more to her sister's relationship rather than the romance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I heard it kind of does like have the Hallmark movie vibes. I don't know if you felt that at all, Lucy, and also like Gilmore Girls, people were saying.
Yeah, because it's the whole point of them going to the town was to fill out the list. So it was very like I could feel them trying to go down that route of like let's complete this list and like get our lives back on track. But I feel as though the list was kind of like cut halfway through the book as well. Like I feel as though that was supposed to be the plot, and then everything sort of scrambled into their own sort of pathways.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if the dynamic between the Nora and her sister is like spoilery, because like I feel like I kind of already know it being like with their mom passing away and Nora just having to be the caretaker, so that kind of makes sense why it felt motherly. But what is the age difference too? I don't even remember how old they are.
I remember that her sister was 16 when her mum died, I think, and I think Nora was either like just about to start college.
Yeah, like maybe.
So I don't think it's a big age gap, but it's definitely not like 10 years or something where you would think that it would need a motherly relationship. It was, she was still like her legal guardian because Libby was definitely under 18, but I don't think it was a huge age gap.
Okay.
Like the motherly relationship would make more sense if there was like a big age gap. Like, my sister.
Like if there's an 8-year-old sister, like.
Yeah, like, there's a 13, 15-year age gap or whatever. Like that I would totally understand. But that's like the age gap of like me and my brother, who's 18 years old. Like if one of our parents were to pass away, I wouldn't turn into a motherly figure for him. It would be more of like a friendship, like we're really close, but not like I need to know where you are, what you're doing, and waking up middle of the night, like anxious about, oh, he hasn't come home yet, whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And I think with that as well, it's the case that like Nora was I feel as though she's always controlling as to like knowing where Libby was and what she was doing. And when you actually look at Libby, she's a grown woman, she's married and she's got kids of her own. Like she obviously has established her own life. Like from the very first page when you introduce, she's already pregnant with like a third kid or something.
Yeah.
Like so for Nora to still have that relationship with her and still want to know what she's doing, make sure she's okay, seems a bit iffy to me. Like I can understand it when she was 16, like she wasn't an adult yet. Nora had to provide for her. But when she's like married with kids, you're like, come on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Very weird. 2 stars, 3 stars. I think their relationship was more of a way for Nora to hold off her grief.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing, holding off on grief or trying to hold on to the family you have left, but overstepping unconsciously. I read it as more of Nora losing herself in Libby so as not to be lonely in her own life, a kind of codependency. Yeah, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
But I feel like Nora too was just really, this is what my mom says, Nora was way too much for me, like too dramatic for a lot of things.
She was dramatic and very like sharp-witted and like sarcastic about everything.
Yeah, I like the sarcasm and wit and stuff. But yeah, my mom said that she was too dramatic, like towards the end, and with like the miscommunication or whatever happened. So I didn't obviously get to that part, so I don't actually.
Yeah, it was a bit strange because I felt as you know how the romances you have the third act at the end when like they break up and then everything goes wrong and then they finally get back together in the end. I felt as though that third act conflict happens with her sister instead of Charlie, and I was like, why is this happening? it was very dramatic.
Yeah, she was super extra.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't really love the names Emily Henry comes up with.
Yeah, Nora sounds very old-fashioned.
Yeah, and Libby, and even like Dusty for
Yeah,
the person who she's editing for.
yeah.
Like I was like, what, Dusty?
I know. I was like Dusty Springfield. Like that's the only one I know, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, because then I was thinking like in her other books, Beach Read, Augustus, and January.
Yeah, they are.
Like, that's just weird.
They're not very. I mean, like I know Charlie's a popular name or like a standard kind of name, but yeah, the other names like I haven't heard them in a few years.
Yes, I did DNF it, and I don't know if and when I'll pick it up to try again. I don't feel like I don't feel like I need to, because based on like what people are saying, it doesn't seem like the plot or the conflict or even like the resolution or the setting, like all of that together just doesn't feel like it's a book for me. So I don't think I'll try it again. Actually, I don't know.
I'm starting to feel the same way. I already like wasn't in love with Nora as a character. Like to me, I was like, okay, I can get past this. But if people are saying that like it gets worse, like I just don't know. Like,
yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Right. I felt as though it did get emotional for me at the end, and that's kind of why I landed on the 5 stars, because it did lose me in the middle where, you know, we're talking about Libby and Nora's relationship with her. But it was one of those things where Emily Henry just like hooks you right at the end, and it makes it so emotional, and then everything sort of just went, oh, okay, now I understand.
Thing worth it, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked this, but then I read Beach Read and liked it so much better. I liked Beach Read better too.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it, but I pictured Charlie as an old man in the beginning when they meet at the restaurant, and then it really threw me for a loop when we find out he's the love interest. Oh gosh, yeah, that'll ruin it.
Definitely.
It has such a good premise. I love the snark and the take on a character being like the reverse Hallmark female.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I guess I didn't really go into it knowing what it was about anyway. So I guess that's on me. But I was going to ask for people who have read all of Emily Henry. Does she just have the 3? She doesn't have any like other little works, does she?
I think she's got more backlist works, because I think Beach Read was her like debut like traditionally published work, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or is it first adult contemporary, I think.
Okay, so yeah, people who have read her main 3 books, where does this one like rank? Have you read them all, Lucy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think it's Beach Read, Book Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, all of them are like 4 or 5 stars, so yeah.
Yeah. Mine would be People We Meet, Beach Read, Book Lovers. But I agree with Lucy. The middle is too long. The middle? The beginning is too long too. If the middle is too long, oh my goodness. It's funny because like I really, really did try to read this book and finish it. I was reading it the entire month of May. Literally started it like in the first week of May, I think. Or whenever, yeah, because it came out the 3rd. I started it shortly after and tried to read it like all month. And I couldn't get past page 138 or whatever.
Yeah.
I would try to read like a little bit and then it would like annoy me in some way and I'd put it down. Like I just couldn't get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she has some YA.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I also loved the reverse hallmarking aspect.
Yeah, and I just felt like that was a cool aspect because I hadn't really seen that. Like I've read a lot of the Hallmark books and I love them, so I was like, oh, flip it the other way. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not really into Hallmark. I think I don't know.
Sometimes, I mean, I will admit sometimes it gets a bit too cheesy, but
yeah. Well, I do like the originality of this one, and like I think, you know, I think she did a good job at like trying to be a little different and like take it a different way. But also like I don't feel like her writing was cheesy though either, because her writing is really like descriptive and she uses like a lot of metaphors, I feel like, or just like she uses a lot of different words that I feel like you don't often see in books. You know what I mean? Or like her sentence structure, like it's very unique. You can tell it's like an Emily Henry book. Yeah. And I really like it. But sometimes it feels a little overbearing, or it did for me in this one. Like it felt like it was a little, she was trying a little bit too hard, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another point I want to touch on as well. How did you feel about her putting like book publishing stuff in the book as well? Because I felt as though some of that was a little bit too much as well, where it's like hitting it on the nose with all of the different plot points they were talking about while editing the book.
Mm-hmm.
By Dusty or whatever her name.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that part. I don't know. I bet it was like really, I mean, obviously really personal to Emily Henry because it's her book, but like she probably threw in a lot of her own experiences.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Editing process and whatever.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting to see, like, oh, these are problems that people run into and whatever, but like I'm not really interested in the publishing or editing parts of the books. I just like to read the fun stories.
Yeah.
Also where I get it. The order is Beach Read, People We Meet, and then Book Lovers, correct? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we want to see Emily Henry write next? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I would like, so I know she's done a lot of like summary books or, yeah, I would call them summary books. I want her to do like a winter romance.
Yeah.
I think, because like even just looking at her covers, they're all very bright, very vibrant, like it just screams summer to me, and I want her to do a wintry one.
That would be cute. Like in a... Yeah, and like have the love interest be like a professional like snowboarder or something.
Yes, and like just like trying to teach the main character to ski or something.
That would be cute. Yeah. I like that idea.
Like a pumpkin patch kind of romance. because I just love the fall.
Yeah.
Love to read like one of her books in fall and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's a real vibe.
anything pumpkin patch, like just
Yeah.
I'm good.
That would be cute. Like the main characters work at like a pumpkin patch or like work a carnival together. And they like work
They're
their
like in a small town as well.
yeah, that'd be cute. I like
Yeah.
it. Seems to me that Beach Read is tighter as a narrative. Cabiny winter romance. Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, any other final thoughts? I know we didn't really talk too much spoilery, but I don't know if Janelle, if you want Lucy to get into spoilers or what you're thinking about that.
Doesn't matter to me.
I do think at the end it's cute, their little ultimate reading list. Nora and Libby's, did you guys see that?
I didn't.
I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. It's cute because there's a bunch of like actual books that came out or
I've just got the 6 months later epilogue.
what?
Oh, I've got-
Oh. Yeah, no, it's like at the very end, like the reader's guide part.
Yeah, I've just got acknowledgements. I haven't got anything. Well, I've got this edition anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's like a little reading list of a bunch of the books they like or whatever.
Oh, that's cute.
And
Yeah.
there's the Roughest Draft is on there, Arsenic and Adobo, Verity,
Oh, wow.
Hoover, The Kiss Quotient.
It's a good book.
Yeah. So I thought that was cute.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that I don't understand why they're in canoes on this cover. Like
That
it
is
doesn't. Yeah. It's like I even like went back to look at their list of like what they wanted to accomplish, and I'm like, where was the canoes? Like,
where was the canoe?
yeah. I mean, there was like swimming, but not.
Yeah. That is funny.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to be on like sandwiches in this one? Every time I look at it, it looks like it's supposed to be like burgers or something.
Was it supposed to be suitcases?
Oh,
Yeah,
suitcases.
full of
Yeah.
books.
Are they full of food? Yeah,
It
they are.
looks like burgers to me.
It really does.
Once you said that, it clicked.
That makes more sense. Oh goodness. Yes, all for the Pumpkin Patch Romance.
Yeah.
Hi. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, if that's kind of all the points we wanted to make, then we can wrap it up. If anyone else has any final thoughts. It was such a weird month because the fact that Janelle and I didn't even like attempt the Atlas 6 either.
Oh, don't. Just leave it.
Did you not like it? Or it was just confusing or something?
Yeah, I felt really dumb.
Really?
Like they started talking about physics and time and like changing time and going to like alternate parallel places. No.
Oh no, if you were confused, I can't imagine how I would feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a bummer. But I'm excited for our June picks. Yes, we did pick the June books. It's Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. That's our primary pick. And then
I
our
love that cover. I haven't seen that.
cover, so pretty.
Yeah, I've only seen like the bright orange one.
Yeah, that's the one I have, but I want that one.
I love this one.
Has it just been like recovered or is that like a
It's
edition?
a redo.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. And then our secondary pick is Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. Right? So yeah, we're excited about those. And The Discord should be linked in the description if you guys aren't already joined on there, and then the Instagram too. So we try and update on both of those about all the announcements and such. But yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you everyone for coming, for being in the chat. Yay, we're excited to read that. I'm really excited to read that because I know a lot of people have probably already read it, but for those of you who haven't, it's a good excuse to now read it. So, okay, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.